is a Cosmic Octave original podcast.
Me and Jake running down the street with a handful of comic books, kicking ass and banging chicks and drinking booze
No, not
and
me.
smoking
Not
weed.
me. I'm married.
Yeah, well,
I'm married.
Jake.
Can't do that.
Yeah. Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.
Whoa. Wow. Episode
Rockin'
85.
and rollin'.
85, Tyler. Can you believe it?
Holy crud sticks. I almost went blue there.
You don't want to cuss right away. We don't want you to crash that car quite yet.
Yep. We want to get home, then get in the tub.
You take a nice sweet bath.
And then right when you're about to look at the phone, we swear, and you drop it in the tub. Ha.
I thought this was a nice family show. But it's not.
You ruined my phone, off panel, off topic.
You ruined my phone and my life.
You know what? I'm coming after you.
Whoa.
I'll never rest until I bring you to justice, OPOT.
Oh, I turned it down.
Nice. Nice. That is nice.
What?
Crack cocaine.
Back to the show. All right, tonight it's going to be an interesting night, you know, because we got a lot to talk about. We actually do.
We
quite
do,
a few
actually.
topics. It's because
Last couple weeks were kind of a bit.
Well, yeah, it was kind of weird because last week, especially with Luke, it was more of a relaxed episode and kind of just, you know, we learned about the only sausage water.
Uh-huh.
But we have things to talk about. We're talking about the Mandalorian.
Only sausage water.
Why? Was that necessary? We told you no sausage water this
You
episode.
misspelled Snyder.
I didn't spell anything.
Yeah.
No, that's how the dude's name is spelled. That's
Okay.
directly from the article.
That's really stupid.
Right in the audience.
There's only one way to spell Snyder.
Back to the episode. I'm gonna cut that burp out because that was gross.
Wow.
What, you want to keep the burp in?
Sausage water. What?
Stop it.
Okay.
We said no sausage water this week.
Let's do this.
He died when he had a four-way with those three chicks that picked him up in the music video.
Wow.
His heart couldn't take that much fun.
Boo.
So we're talking about The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 1, called Chapter 17, The Apostate. And so coming into this season, you weren't very excited for it because you felt like narratively they'd gone everywhere they could go with Season 2. It's also funny because if you skipped Boba Fett, you have no idea how Jin and Grogu got back together. They're just together.
You have no idea. Also, you have no idea why he's flying a Naboo starfighter.
Yeah, why is he flying the thing from
What
Naboo?
the fuck? That thing is silver. It's interesting because it looks exactly like
that
the
Anakin?
big ship, but because silver, but it's like the small yellow ones, bruh.
Anyway, so yeah, you weren't excited about it just narratively because you felt like they told the story they could tell with Grogu and Jin.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly wasn't like super excited for this season, but I never really I watched the trailer, but I never got into the hype behind it. I was just like, yeah, I'll watch it when it comes out. Like I
don't think I've watched one trailer.
Like The Mandalorian is something of one of the things from the Disney Star Wars that I really, really like. I enjoyed it. And by the way, the people that are pitting Andor against this show are stupid. Okay, you can enjoy both, and it's silly to compare them because they're two separate stories inside.
I'm more excited for Andor season 2 than I was for season 3. Mando,
but
even after seeing the first.
But that's what I'm saying is they're achieving two different goals. They're two different things.
Right. You can't,
and you can you know what? That's fine that you prefer Andor over the Mandalorian. There's nothing wrong with that.
And
I
you know
hate
what?
this pitting things against each other.
To be really brutally honest, some people are like, well, it's okay to compare Nirvana and Foo Fighters because Dave Grohl was in both bands. It's okay to compare Andor and Mando because they're both in the Disney Star Wars. No, it's really not. I mean, no, I'm saying
No, I know what you're saying. Exactly. It's like
you can't. Nirvana is great
by the way,
on its own, and so is Foo Fighters.
By the way, I enjoyed Andor. I'm the opposite of you. I enjoy The Mandalorian more. And I'll explain that while we talk about this episode.
I'm just, yeah. Oh, now, when you told me, when you reminded me what was going to happen and what was about to happen in the story, like that kind of reminded me like, oh, cool, maybe it is kind of getting cool. But then within 5 minutes of the first episode,
let's just get into the episode.
Yeah.
So
it's destroyed. It's gone.
There's going to be more to that, you know that.
Is there?
Yes.
Is there, Jake?
Because why would they keep talking about Mandalore if they don't actually have a plan for it? Anyway. But the reason I like this, and I think I've always, look, again, I liked Andor. I think Andor was great, and it was fun to see a different approach to Star Wars. And also,
plus Stellan Skarsgård is just a fucking
they found
beast.
they found an interesting way to make a prequel compelling, because we know what happens. We know what happens to Cassian Andor. We know he dies in Rogue One. Like, we know that's gonna, but it's still compelling. It's still a story.
It's like when we talked about, like, with Obi-Wan and everything, and Leia and Obi-Wan. Like, we know there's no stakes because we know they make it to a certain point, right? But you can still make it compelling.
I think they did it more effectively in Andor because Andor's a lesser known
character. Your beard's looking really
than
nice today.
What?
Your beard's looking really nice today.
That's weird. Anyway. But the reason I like The Mandalorian more than Andor, or why if you were going to compare them, or why I feel like I'm enjoying this, even though I really, really liked Andor, this feels more like the classic Star Wars, in my opinion. Like, if you look at it from that way, it's pretty cool. Well, no, it does, because in my opinion, because
your opinion ain't
it does this thing that Star Wars I've always liked, and it always does, is it really does a great job of balancing the silly and the goofy with a little bit more nuance in storytelling. Look, if people are complaining this is too cheesy, I understand.
Is that what the criticism is?
No, but I'm sure there will be people. But I want to point you to, go watch Star Wars. Star Wars has a lot of cheesy, silly moments in it.
They do. When does new episodes come out, by the way?
Wednesdays.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's why I liked it. Like, the pirate stuff, little half-baked with their ideas on that. However,
maybe
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the climax of that storyline because it does feel like classic swashbuckling stories.
It was a pretty cool battle.
But anyway, yeah. So let's get into the story itself, where we're at, because I don't know if we should do. How do you want to approach this? Because I don't want to do like beat for a beat. Let's break down the whole episode. But I do want to talk about a lot of elements of it, because I think there's a lot of interesting things. Why don't we just talk
about the elements you want to talk about?
I do like. Well, like, the first scene is cool because. I wanted to get what your thought on this, because I was watching it with Ashley, and I was like, for a minute, two things were going through my head, because we had this thing with the armor brings out this smaller Mandalorian helmet. So two things are going through my head. One, it's like, okay, is this going to be like a tiny little helmet for Grogu? Because that would be adorable. And then an actual thought was, is this going to be like a flashback to? That's
what I thought it was.
Yeah, that's what I really. But in my, as a joke, I was like, are they going to put it on Grogu?
Hey, John. Now far be it from me to question anything that you've written, because to be honest, like, you've written way more better shit than I probably ever will. But I do gotta ask you, how exactly do they ever get that fucking ceremony done if there's giant fucking water lizards in that lake all the time?
Stop it.
No, come on, man.
Stop it.
Really?
Stop it.
And if there why do you take it so long?
What about why would Yoda train Luke in the fucking swamps of Dagobah?
I don't fucking know.
Then exactly, shut up. No, that's such that's silly to me.
What?
That's a silly because
I'm all about plot holes.
Yeah, I know. And it, like, you can, if you want to do that, you can. But I feel like that scene was fun.
It's
cannot
it's a
tell
shallow way to manufacture action.
What?
Yes, you manufactured an action scene.
Star Wars does that all the time. Every Star Wars movie does that.
I just did not really.
That's
was
hey,
you know what?
Again, a fair criticism.
Yay, a bunch of Mandalorians are somehow getting killed by a giant fucking lizard when they got armor and jetpacks.
Tyler, listen. I understand.
After 5 minutes, let's take to the
Jesus
air.
Christ, dude. I'm trying to fucking have a conversation.
Right?
I'm trying to talk to you.
Trying
to talk to you. I am agreeing with you on this point.
No.
Here's what I'm trying to say. This is the push and pull you have as a viewer, right? Because your criticisms are fair. I think you're right. It is. I will tell you this. It does.
On my beard.
It does feel like Favreau and company were like, okay, this is a slow build. We need a set piece, right? So I think that's a fair criticism, but as a viewer, you can either look at it as, okay, that seems like it's like how you viewed it, but as how I viewed it is, I like it. It's silly. It's over the top, but
if you look at it like as a bunch.
Hold on, real quick.
Okay.
I think you and I view Star Wars differently.
We do.
Very differently.
We have to.
Right. You like the more serious approach to Star Wars, and I like the more silly approach to Star Wars. Go ahead.
Look,
I keep interrupting you.
Well, no, you're fine. We need to, be able to say our piece. Like, okay, if you're looking at it as just like, hey, here's a bunch of fucking Mandalorians fighting something. All right, fuck yeah, man.
Yeah.
But honestly, you kind of made the Mandalorians look like jackasses.
Did you see the size of that thing?
After 5 minutes, let's take to the air. You have fucking jetpacks. What are you doing? Hey, let's all hook cables to him so that when he rolls, that is fucking smart, dude. Also, do you remember how season 2 opened with the crate dragon?
Yeah. So again, this happens in Star Wars all the fucking.
How did season 1 open? Was it a giant fucking creature in season 1 too? It fucking was, wasn't it? In the ice, almost swallowed up the Razor Crest, right? Huh?
It's
it
Star
was,
Wars.
wasn't it?
You gotta have monsters in it.
Oh my god, I'm done with you, Star Wars.
No. But
no, I honestly didn't hate it. It just
no. But what you're complaining about is stuff that's been a mainstay in 1, storytelling, and 2, Star Wars. You have to have fodder there for this thing, for this enemy to be formidable. So when the Mandalorian shows up to kill it, you had to be like, "Whoa, he's fucking rad, dude." It's his.
Right.
It's his show. Remember that. It's his show.
Understood. But you are not. You have yet to show me how badass Mandalorians are.
But we know the Mandalorian, right?
Sure. But every other one is. I'm sorry. Every other one is a jackass from what I can see.
The first season they had a cool scene where they helped him in the first season when he was fighting off the Empire because he kidnapped Grogu back. Remember?
Yeah.
So that was a good scene. But again, I understand the criticism. What you're trying to say is you need to make the group of people more formidable if you're going to build up to, because I think what they're trying to build.
If you're going to make them these legendary fucking warriors and shit,
Well,
man, I haven't seen it yet in the fucking Star Wars universe.
What I think they're building.
Even Boba Fett in the original trilogy isn't that big of a fucking deal. He just gets lucky a couple times, and he gets taken out.
He's not even a Mandalorian.
He gets taken. Okay, fine, but he gets taken out by a fucking blind dude with a fucking thing. Oops. And now I'm in a Sarlacc. I like Boba Fett a lot better now that he's been in The Mandalorian. But then again, didn't we not have the same criticism about Book of Boba Fett? And again, didn't we say it back then? There better be fucking 3 episodes of strictly Boba Fett shoehorned into this fucking season of Mandalorian.
So. They better be.
But that was my big criticism. Look, if you're going to do a Boba Fett show, do a Boba Fett show.
Yeah.
Don't try and shoehorn. You know how I knew a comic was not selling well back in the 90s?
When they would put like Spider-Man in it.
Spider-Man's there for no
Batman
reason. And Punisher. Yeah.
We talked about this last week, the Batman rule.
Yeah.
I
mean, that's how you know. And so you're like, okay, wait a second. So, and I feel like, I mean, I know you can't make those 3 episodes of The Mandalorian that quickly. But didn't it feel like they put those episodes of The Mandalorian centric Book of Boba Fett in right when people were getting really bitchy about the Boba Fett show?
Yeah.
Didn't it feel like that? Like, oh, okay, here's some Mandalorian. Shut up.
Yeah, for 2 weeks straight.
So,
again, you know what made me laugh about those episodes in the Book of Boba Fett? That could have been 2 episodes in season 3. And the premiere could have been like the 3rd episode of this season, honestly.
Right.
Because, you could have just made a 4-episode miniseries of the Boba Fett thing. Or you could have made it a fucking Disney Plus movie. I don't care.
I know better.
That's another thing that frustrates me. Why has it been 4 years since we've seen a Star Wars movie in a cinema? Like, what the fuck are we doing? We need to be putting that shit back in theaters, okay? First of all. Or second of all, if you're going to do something with Boba Fett that you want to do either, like we said, commit to that or make a movie. But that's neither here nor there. I think that I think the problem is too. I don't know.
Star Wars Legos, you're fucking laying down on the job too.
But back to the
what I've seen coming out this year.
Back to what you were saying about Mandalorians. I do hope that they take steps throughout this season because they're clearly, to me, building to a civil war between Bo-Katan and Din.
See, as the episode went on,
Din or
I
Jin?
liked it. Din Djarin.
Yeah, so it's between those two.
I liked the rest of the episode. It's just, to me, like, it was just one of those, like, look, man. Okay, as a storyteller, he's got a fine line to walk because it's season 3 and it's the first episode. So on one hand, he's got to be
and
like,
the show has been 3 years now.
he's got to be saying to himself, every storyteller has to be saying to themselves, okay, I want to make sure that the people who've stuck with me this long get rewarded by the story, and that it's a good story for them. But I also want to make sure that people who might be trying to jump on can follow it pretty easily. And that's the tightrope that you walk, I think, as a television like producer and writer and stuff like that. Yeah. So I get, like, you know, that they kind of had to put that set piece in front in case somebody had never seen The Mandalorian and they were starting there, which I fucking highly doubt.
Yeah, I don't look, man, I don't necessarily buy into the Stan Lee adage of like everybody has a first issue or something. I don't necessarily think that's true nowadays.
Yeah, but the way he did it wasn't like that.
No, but what I'm saying, I understand where you're trying to come from too, but they're also trying to do something that gets people excited again, I think, because it's like, wow, we haven't had this show out for 2 years now.
And to be fair, there weren't a whole lot of set pieces in Andor.
No.
If set pieces is your thing, which isn't my thing, but
again, that's the thing.
Whatever.
You and I are viewing Star Wars differently, and that's what's the beauty of fandom is we can have these two things exist.
No, I'm gatekeeping.
And the episode, you just said you don't think the episode itself is bad.
No, I enjoyed it more, and like when I was like that's a Mandalorian castle, I'm like, fuck yeah! I got out my air guitar like no. When it was awesome, dude.
When he
tasty licks
fucking guns down those pirates. That was okay. I will say some of the criticisms. The pirates, again, are just like this half-baked kind of idea that they don't necessarily deliver on.
Yeah, but the dogfight was pretty cool. Even though they
fight in the asteroid,
they pretty much got their asses kicked, but it was pretty cool.
The asteroid field fight was pretty cool. But there are some criticisms that they're saying that Din is too overpowered in this episode. He's too overpowered this season. I'm like, you guys, it's his show. Mm-hmm. Also, I do hope that later on throughout the season he deals with some challenges and he gets beaten because that's what you want. Yeah. But at the same time, his name's on the fucking marquee. You're gonna make him look good.
Do you remember H.R. Puffin stuff? You know that cartoon back in the 70s, or it was like a live action kids show, and they were like life size puppets and shit.
I didn't watch that.
Okay,
I wasn't alive.
What's up with the pirate captain being a fucking reject from H.R. Puffin stuff? Dude?
He looked
what
like he looked like a.
What was that?
A chia pet.
Right?
I love it. That's Star Wars, man.
Oh my god.
You can't tell me that. Go back and watch Star Wars and tell me there aren't some goofy looking fucking costumes.
If you're gonna go goofy cool.
He looks like
stupid and goofy cheap. It looks goofy cheap. It doesn't look goofy on purpose.
He looks like a fucking. They look like it was a mix between Jabba the Hutt or Pizza the Hutt from Spaceballs and like a chia pet. You know, that's kind of what I got. And a Christmas tree, because it kind of looked like a Christmas. But dude, that's the thing is people are.
I'm just tired of it.
This is the. I can understand criticism in a sense that it's a mishmash of styles because you have elements where it's the classic Mandalorian, which kind of like the Western, and he's like into town. He's like, I'm not going to be your lawman, you know, whatever, and he does a quick draw like, bah, 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 bah. And then you got the sci-fi dogfights in space that I fucking love. That was an awesome scene and
pretty fucking
awesome.
Cool, man. It's
really like that, like. And it's just, and again, it was fun to see him outsmart them and outfly them and be, you know. But then, yeah, so you run into this mishmash of styles when things are very serious when he's talking to Bo-Katan. But then you also have, before that, he's dodging this really fun dogfight and this really cheesy, like, swipe transition. Which, by the way, we get it. It's a mainstay in the series. But I get why some people are done with, like, the fucking weird Windows Movie Maker effects.
To be really honest, I can't get enough of the swipes.
Okay, thank God. I thought you were gonna say no,
dude,
but I'm in.
No, dude, the original trilogy was all of that is followed from the way they kind of had to do things back then with the technology available to them, and wipes were like an easy transition for editors and stuff. So
I mean, I liked it sometimes. Like after the pirate scene, I
doesn't
loved it then because it
you
worked
want to talk
well.
about goofiness and seriousness
Yeah.
going together, embodying Star Wars. You know what embodies Star Wars to me? The fucking the circle wipe.
It's Windows Movie Maker
And
transition.
and the left to right
But
wipe,
I don't
and
know.
the up and down
I
wipe.
like- for the-
oh yeah!
For the most part, I
Give
like
me
him.
some wipes.
For the most part, I
I
like
ain't
him.
talking from my butthole.
But there's sometimes where I'm like, okay, let's just jump to the
I
next
got to
scene.
say butthole.
Let's just move along. But
No, I gotta have the wipes.
but the Pirate King wipe is
Sometimes toilet paper doesn't do the job, Jake.
Well,
Sometimes you need some wipes.
I just hope they do something else with the pirates because right now the pirates are just like this like fodder for unless it's supposed
haven't they already had that in Mandalorian like a bunch of times though?
But in
fodder.
but I'll only allow it. Listen,
I'll only allow it.
I'll only allow it in the court of this show. I will only allow it if
we call it an order OPOT. OPOT night court.
OPOT court. OPOT.
I'm Judge Abby Stone.
I'll only allow it if they are used for fodder, but it's comedic purposes. If it's they take the piss out of him, the more he clear like they already have done. He kills every one of them, but that one guy in the alleyway, and then he kills all of them except that one guy in the firefight. And then when they're like, "We got him," he just goes right past him. So I feel like if they keep using it for comedy, I think it's gonna make more sense. But for a first episode, overall, I really, really enjoyed this first episode.
I give it a B. I give it a B. Solid B.
I give it 4 Grogus out of 5 Grogus.
I give it 3.5 Grogers. 3 Grogers.
Well, now I'm gonna change and put 5 Dins out of 5 Dins. So now
I'm gonna do 9 Dins out of 5 Dins.
I would give it, if we were to give it a letter grade, I would give it for me an
solid B.
An A-. I really enjoyed it. I feel like
that's almost a B plus.
I feel like you are so anti. You're gonna come around. I feel like it. I could feel it in my bones. I still don't understand.
What?
I do. I will tell you this: the whole Mandalorian's kind of destroyed thing kind of sucks. But I'm hoping.
I'm sure that you're right. Though.
They're gonna work around it, and they're gonna figure a way
to.
to make them come back to Mandalore somehow. Whatever. Anyway, that's our review. Mandalorian season 3, episode 1.
Review.
Tyler, I got some bad
What's
news.
the theme song again?
What for? What?
Mandalorian.
Man, cats. Still got a whip in there. Ride 'em up, high, and that's the theme.
Oh, the Mandalorian. You think the
Tyler, let's-
Bonanza?
Tyler,
What? Fuck.
let's have a
Just
moment.
break my
Let's
heart.
have a moment to talk about something serious.
Don't go breaking my heart.
Don't go breaking my heart.
I want it breaking my heart. What's the bad news?
The bad news is
Give me the good news first.
Funko. Do you like Funko Pops?
I fucking love those things.
Well, too bad.
Yeah.
More Funko's in trouble. So the problem, I think,
fucking say.
I'm not a business major, but I think the main problem is when you have
way too many
walls and walls dedicated to your pops that take up store space. You're gonna run into some issues.
But here's you know what the big problem is? Is they don't just make pops anymore. They make those little fucking Dorbs things. They make all number of collectible
There's like
figurines.
Funko Pop cereal, man.
I'm saying like that's one.
Yeah,
that's one division of the
Yeah.
fucking company, dude.
but you're asking why we're talking about Funko Pops?
Yeah,
Well,
well,
more than $30 million worth of the Funko Pops are about to be dumped into the trash. The amount, which is based on a huge inventory growth year over year, and suggests Funko made more than they could
you
sell
can't fucking recycle that shit, you
in
fucking
20
cocksuckers.
in 2022. And it was so much bigger than expected that the company's stock took a hit on that news as well. Again, this is, to me, the problem of, the idea of having way too many IP. It's like the thing I worry about with Lego. But here's how I think Lego is different, because Lego has all this IP, but takes that uniqueness of the IP and use it to his advantage and makes different like sets and and different things. Whereas Funko Pop, it's the same fucking pop. They just put a different face on it. They put it, and look, I like them. I have a Macho Man one. I have a couple.
They're fucking neat.
They're cool.
Yeah. But yeah, you're like, dude.
But you know
what they have?
But when you take up walls of space, you know what I mean?
You want to know what the problem is, really?
What?
You know what they have right now? They have the Looney Tunes characters as Scooby-Doo characters, Pops. No shit. I've seen them both at Mayhem and JCD's.
So they did like crossovers?
Yes, as a Pop, and like, who the fuck needed that? Like, why are you making those? Why, right?
That's something you'd see on like Reddit.
Daffy
or
Duck as Shaggy,
yeah.
Bugs Bunny as Fred, fucking Tasmanian Devil as Scooby. I'm not kidding here. I'm not kidding.
I'm sure they exist. I believe
I've seen them, and I even took them to the person at Jay's, and I'm like, what the fuck? And they're like, huh? And I'm like, yeah, who the fuck asked for it?
And then you bought 5. Then you bought the whole set.
The last one I bought actually was a really cool comic book cover one, and it was the Starro.
Yeah.
The first Brave and the Bold number 28, which I believe is the first appearance of the Justice League.
Well, here's a great example of Funko just having like every.
Man, I got boogers, man.
It has every IP known to man. So on my shelf, he fell down, but because I had to reorganize.
He fell down.
Oh, he did a flying elbow drop because he's Macho Man Randy.
Nice.
I have a Funko Pop of Macho Man Randy Savage.
I see him. Yeah.
And then you look on the other part of the basement. I have another Funko Pop, 2 Funko Pop figures.
Mm-hmm.
That was a gift. It's an inside joke of the family, but it's the McDonald's fucking chicken nuggets. The chicken nugget Halloween toys from Happy Meals. They turn those into Funko Pops. Where it's like, again, to me, that's one. It's funny that it is something from my childhood, but at the same time,
a long time ago though.
Oh yeah,
that was when they were still keeping
fun
it.
fact.
Yeah.
I still have some original Halloween chicken nuggets from when I was a kid. I got them like it somehow made it through my family back.
So I get the making a Funko Pop of the dude from the Hawaiian Punch, right? I get the making a Funko Pop of that guy.
Oh, the mask guy. Yeah.
Right. You can get that. You can get they're making a Captain Crunch.
Well,
you can get that they're making Fred and
McDonald's has all like the Hamburglar and Grimmett, all of them are Funkos.
Yeah.
Ronald.
Yeah. Oh, they have a whole yeah. But what were we
You were on the tip of your tongue. But we were talking about the Hawaiian Punch mask guy. You're saying like that
Hawaiian
makes
Punch
sense to
mask,
be
that makes punch
a pump
for the mascots or whatever, right? But you know what they started having at places that I would see is they would have like actual like just an anthropomorphized box of like a cereal as a pop. I'm serious. It was like
Did they get the Kool-Aid Man? I feel like they should have had the Kool-Aid Man.
Right, but then they were having like drink boxes.
Yeah, like juice boxes.
With arms and legs and smiles. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't even the guy anymore. And it's like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
Yeah.
And they started making the big pops and they started making these
super the like $40
you
pops.
guys got to chill the fuck out,
and
man.
it's the price too. I mean, you're paying for like $15 things that you again
$10 to $15 depending on where
I get the appeal of them.
Oh, I do
right?
too. I love them.
But yeah, at the same point, you're like, this is just the same pop. It's the same toy. It's the same figure over and over again.
Yeah.
And then when they do provide some variety and mix things up, and then they do weird mashups because they have all this IP. And again, that's why I think it's different with Lego. Because again, Lego has the ability to make unique sets to these characters and this IP and make things unique. Where Funko Pop, it's just the same fucking thing, just a different coat of paint.
And here's the thing: is they made a Funko.
And again, I like them. I have nothing against them.
They made a couple of Star Wars Funko Pops of the original like Ralph McQuarrie.
Like the original
mock-ups,
toys,
like the original characters, like way before, like Luke Starkiller, who was basically
like the concept art,
and like the Stormtrooper and C-3PO.
Oh, that's cool.
They made Funko Pops of those, and like that's cool, right? But then they made like 1,700 different Stormtroopers for like each movie, and it's like nobody needs that many Stormtroopers, man.
Yeah. But they do there are some funny ones.
They're so
too.
fun though, but yeah, guys, chill the fuck.
It is
out,
weird because I
man.
watched I remember like during the height of that, like when the Funko was really like booming. Netflix did a documentary about it because it is fascinating, how that idea came to be and just how that really kind of took over the zeitgeist. Because they've been around for a long time.
Yeah, like
And
80s.
You know what's funny? Even though yes, this is bad for them and this isn't good news. And look, to me, and here we go.
Figure out a way to recycle that shit.
Here we go. The
motherfuckers.
pop culture podcast is getting political, but no, to me, this is an example of the problem of the system we're in. This is the problem of capitalism. In a world that exists like with this capitalism is why Funko felt the need to get IP after IP after IP after
unchecked
IP
capitalism.
to keep doing it, so then they could dedicate whole entire walls to their
Well, you
figures
wanna
to
know
make
why?
money.
'Cause-
And now they're getting fucked because
Right.
there's too much.
Because their stockholders were like, oh, we see these returns. We want more and more and more. They expect it to go up indefinitely.
It's just like what
But
we-
it doesn't. That's not how fucking capitalism works, you fucks.
It's just like
Fuck.
well, that's the thing.
People with money are stupid.
Tyler, there's only so many stores in the country. There's only so many stores in the world. And then you're not going to want to put the infrastructure in building up your own Funko store because the only thing you're going to be selling is Funko. So it's the same thing we say with streaming services. It's not sustainable when you
Right.
approach it as you
Yes.
got to keep growing and growing and
But
growing.
say
and
there's
growing.
like a really obscure, like, I don't know, something from like there's a Funko Pop of like a really obscure Star Wars character, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, because it's in a wave, they're gonna make like what 10,000 or like 100,000 of them to ship to different stores, right?
Yeah.
What if nobody buys one of those?
What?
And are you expecting 100,000 people to buy every single one in that wave? Maybe 10 people will.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like,
Well, and it's like, oh, do you like?
they don't
is
think
this-
about
is
it
this-
in terms of like
Yeah.
common sense. They think about it in terms of business, and that's why they got fucked.
And the first thing they think of, like, oh, you like this thing. Oh, Stranger Things. Let's make 15 different Stranger Things pops. Oh, everybody's starting to really being in this anime, so let's make 20 different Funkos
Yeah,
for
let's
this
do
anime.
Naruto. Let's do Bleach. Let's do
My
One
Hero
Punch Man.
Academia,
Oh my
all this
god,
shit.
you fucking idiots.
Yeah. Well, look, again, I get the appeal of them, but it goes back to the same thing. It's just it's not sustainable because you can only have so many.
If you
And-
want,
and
if you
one-
want
and
the
like
truth,
you
though,
said-
it wasn't the anime pops that really made it. It was all them. If there was one like type of pop that I would get rid of to help them, like
The
not be
crossover ones.
Yeah, the mashups.
That's
I don't need that shit.
Uh,
I know that there's a lot of people who love anime, and I'm not, in that
Not
camp.
your thing, but it's.
But
yeah.
I know that it brings
It's
joy
very
to a lot of
popular,
people, and
yeah.
I think that's cool that they can get Funko Pops of that shit. But maybe they need to go to look with 3D printers so prevalent, dude. They need to make a Funko Pop machine to put
Yeah.
in stores.
Well,
it's a 3D printer,
They do have custom ones that you can make.
right? But you got to order them online,
Yeah.
and they still make 100,000 of them every batch. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what they're doing. They need to go like this, dude. Okay, all we need to do is make a Funko machine that anybody in the store can go up and pay like $20, and they can
It's
make
just 3D
whatever
printed.
Funko Pop they want. Any one of the IP that already exists.
Any sort
they
of
can
color
make it,
combination.
exactly.
Whatever you
can
want.
pay extra
Yeah.
and have it gold, or like the ones that are covered in just right.
Yeah.
Fuck mass producing these
Why
things
don't
because
people
not
hire
everybody
us,
wants
man? We could solve so many
it.
problems.
You fucking cucks. No, just kidding. I don't know why I go. I don't even use it right.
All right, Tyler.
Not that it needs to be used right ever because it's a stupid word.
Let's move on to stuff that's more exciting.
Yeah.
Better news.
Yeah.
Or maybe it isn't. I want to get. I really want
I
to get.
hate it.
I want to get your take on this because you hate everything I like. So that's another thing. If anybody says we don't have differing opinions, I seem to like that Mandalorian episode a lot more than he did. Okay, and I like DC a lot more than he does.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get more of that later.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like there's some rumors floating around. Now I take this with a grain of salt.
In the water.
Excuse me.
Ask the waiter for another water.
I think this is from either Comic Book Resource.
There's something floating in my water.
I think this article is either from CBR or comicbook.com. I
Okay.
can't remember exactly which.
They're very similar heading styles.
It's the blue. It's very
Yep, and the blue and the yellow.
Yeah. Anyway,
I like both of them.
there's a rumor floating around. This is from Industry Insider. I think it was Jeff Sneeder, claiming that previous DC Films president Walter Hamada hired F9 writer Daniel Casey. That's F9 for Fast Furious 9, Tyler.
Oh, okay.
Daniel Casey
I don't acknowledge that
to write a script
franchise exists.
for an animated Batman Beyond project, which, quote, would have been DC's answer to Into the Spider-Verse.
Why do you have to have an answer to that? Why can't you just make up your own fucking story?
Well, because, dude.
Actually, I don't care.
Come on, it's
cool.
Marvel and DC.
Sounds cool.
They're so derivative of each other.
I don't care. It sounds cool.
What do they always do? They always rip each other off. Yeah.
What? No, they don't.
But that seems interesting to me. So, that would be cool because you could bring back, and granted, this would have happened when he was still alive, of course, but you could have had Kevin Conroy. You could have had other previous Batman you could have fucking Christian Bale voice Nolan's Batman. You could have had Keaton come back and do 89 like that would have been cool. I would have loved to have seen a
69 Batman.
And look, I have full confidence in what James Gunn is doing for the DCU. Yeah. But sometimes I wish we could have seen what Walter Hamada wanted. Because, look, if that Batgirl movie sucked, that Batgirl movie sucked. Whatever. But at least he was doing things to, look, and you could look at it, he's just throwing darts at a dartboard to see what sticks.
Very possible.
But at least he was trying to do something out of the normal. And why not? Into the Spider-Verse is an Oscar-winning movie. It's widely popular. Some would say the best Spider-Man movie ever. And I think it's
up there.
No Way Home and Into the Spider-Verse, I feel like could go either way for me.
Yeah.
But that's my thing. Why wouldn't you go at what's successful and try and do your you guys rip each other off for years. Have been doing it since you've been in existence. So why not? Yeah. I like it. Yeah. I wish we could have kind of seen what it would be.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, it was, there's times in history that Tom Selleck tried out for Han Solo,
Yeah.
Like you're kind of like I wonder
Will Smith was going to be in Django Unchained.
Right, yes, but it just there's a lot of different things that you're like, man, I wonder what that was like, but truly do we really want to know what that was like? Any of those what ifs? Cuz the way they are is pretty great.
Yeah, well it's like Superman Lives with Nicolas Cage. Like the story of that getting canceled and not happening is more interesting than probably that shitty movie.
It probably
Right.
It probably would have been.
And I'm not saying
I don't know though.
I'm not
man.
saying
the
this
costume looked pretty fucking cool, dude.
I wanted that movie. I wanted to see that movie. But that's the thing too. At the same time, I would have liked to see what they would have done with a BatVerse.
Sure. I mean, it's
story.
A fun idea.
It seems like they're kind of doing that in the Flash movie. So I guess we might see that after all, with Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton being in it, and maybe
I really hope
there's
somebody.
Another rumor floating that it's another Batman, but it's not George Clooney. I
really hope that
they got George
somebody,
Clooney to voice a Batman for this movie. Holy
dude,
shit! And he would have done it because he doesn't have to do anything physically.
Yeah, I really would have liked. I really hope somebody making the Flashpoint movie was like, so we are going to call Jeffrey Dean Morgan about playing Thomas Wayne's version of Batman, right? Because he was Batman's dad and the Snyder.
Why else do you cast Jeffrey Dean Morgan in that spot? You know what I mean?
Right?
I feel like he might be in it. There might be something. I hope he's in it. Just
and don't you think Lauren Cohan has the chops to play like a fucking nuts broad, like a Joker type?
Gee.
I'm saying,
I know what you mean.
You cast both of those well-known actors from a well-known, franchise.
It's kind of funny that they both came from The Walking Dead. But yeah. So and speaking of,
I got a crush on her.
While
but that's,
we're
whatever.
I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah.
While we're in the BatVerse,
yeah,
I want to keep talking about it. So
Let's
Sneeder
do it, man.
also
BatVerse, man.
Sneeder also tweeted about that.
Sneeder. Oh yeah.
Gunn and Safran nixed a solo Batman film starring Michael Keaton, which would have been an adaptation of Batman Beyond. So again, we're going back to there was 2 possible Batman Beyond projects they were talking about.
But how likely was that?
Now look, I think it's a slam fucking dunk if you wanted to do that. I think it's a smart thing to do to have Michael Keaton just because you already have the parallels of that 90s series was made to go alongside with the 89 movie. They are not at all tied together. They are their own separate entities.
Right.
But wouldn't that be cool to do a role that was for Kevin Conroy, where he was the first Batman that a lot of people attached to? Do the same thing with Michael Keaton. That would have been cool.
Some of the best ideas in comic books and in entertainment in general start with the phrase, "Wouldn't it be cool?"
Yeah, right.
If and so many of these studios don't do that.
But however, I go back to what you said earlier. is this more fun us talking about it than actually seeing it?
Right, and sometimes fan service stuff can be bullshit. You know, I mean, sometimes it can be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Because the fanboy in me who fucking loved the Batman Beyond cartoon and loved and still loves Keaton's Batman, like that really enticed me. But again, it's like if
the original.
But again, there's a reason why it didn't work or it wasn't looked at, because maybe they're like, well, let's restructure and try and find a way to make this be a better story. And that seems to be what Gunn is all about. Gunn is like, I want this, like, its story is king. Story has to be what we focus on. So maybe this just wasn't going to work in their grand scheme of things, because clearly they want to do like the Bat Family and Brave and the Bold, because we haven't really seen a lot of the Bat Family on screen, which I kind of like. Keeps going. The film was being written by Christina Hodson, who has penned other DC films like Birds of Prey, which is fun. I enjoyed that movie. She also wrote the upcoming Flash movie, and she wrote the Batgirl movie that was canceled. So she's kind of hit or miss here. Seems like we don't know. But Gunn says it's great, and that trailer got me, dude. I'm really excited. Yeah. I just wish it wasn't Ezra Miller. The movie reportedly would have taken place after the events of The Flash, which would help launch the new DCU, and would have seen Keaton rekindle his romance with Catwoman. Although it is unknown if Michelle Pfeiffer would return to play Selena Kyle. Again,
She still looks really good.
Again, this sounds good on paper. This sounds good in your head. And I'm not saying that Keaton and Michelle Pfeiffer have lost any step in their chops. I think they're still great actors. But if you see it on screen, does it feel genuine, or does it just feel, like you said, bullshit fan service? If we just do that, like, because what are we doing? What is the purpose of it? Because isn't this Flash movie trying to establish that this is a different version of Keaton?
Perfect moment from the fucking trailer, dude. We talked about it last week, a couple weeks ago, when he comes out and goes, "Yeah, I'm Batman."
Yeah.
Right? And didn't you say, like, I think they just did that for the trailer? And I'm like, I fucking hope so. Because if they do that in the movie, that is the definition of bullshit fan service. Like, seriously, right? That is too much of a wink to the audience. Like, hey, it's me again. You remember? I used to be your favorite.
But man, he still looks good in that suit.
Right? But please don't make it like, yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't want it to be too winky. Like,
yeah, hey. Batman, right? All right.
And I tell you what, I think that this Batman movie would be this one of him.
Probably.
Yeah. However, I would have loved to have seen that version of Batman Beyond. But who knows? Maybe I'm not ruling out that we will see more Batman Beyond, because that character is still very. I think even just this past year they had another comic book run for that character, for Terry McGinnis. Like, that character is still popular. People still like it. But there was one weird Batman Beyond series.
I don't get it.
Where Tim Drake gets thrown into the future and he's the Batman Beyond instead of.
But
Terry
I don't really
McGinnis.
get Spider-Man 2099 either, so I don't really get the whole.
Oh, I see. You don't like legacy characters.
I don't think I do. No.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
I guess. You're gonna be a little bitch. Do you like multiverse characters like Spider-Gwen? Oh, probably you do, because it's Marvel, you prick. Tyler?
Yeah.
It's a segment that we haven't done in weeks.
What
it's
is
making its way back.
Oh.
Making its way downtown, walking fast, faces passing them homebound.
Yeah, that is just going to make me throw up.
It's the Grift Report.
Oh, God damn it.
So Tyler, by the time this goes up, episode 8
We'll
will
all be
already
dead.
have has already gone up. So episode 7 of The Last of Us on HBO focused on the DLC from the game, which, if you don't know, is downloadable content, which is like a bonus thing you could play. It came out.
It's like a movie?
It came out a couple months after the game came out.
Oh, okay.
And it's pretty much like a movie. I mean, what you saw on the show is pretty much what the DLC is. There's not a ton of like gameplay. It's more of just
that's cool.
Developing Ellie's backstory and doing stuff like that. So, of course, it comes out, and just like in the game, Ellie kisses
Riley.
Riley?
Yeah, Riley. I just watched it last night. So
kisses her, and it's like establishes they are both into each other. It's more than just a friendship. It's definitely more flirtatious and all that stuff. It's a romantic scene. It's a cute display of young love. and then immediately gets taken away from us because it's The Last of Us. But, of course, just like episode 3, people got upset about episode 7 because gay people. That's really all it is gay people exist. And a lot of them are trying to say, well, it's gay filler episodes. And I'm like, okay.
It's what?
Gay filler episodes. Like, both the gay-centric romances are just filler episodes in the season. Like, they think it's, like, it's just interesting to me that, like, they're clearly just dedicating these episodes to these gay couples and they're filler episodes. First of all,
no, actually.
First of all,
yeah.
it establishes background
Yes.
for both characters.
Yes.
For Bill or for the characters. Yeah, Bill and Frank, and it establishes how Ellie got bit.
Yes.
It also establishes why, again,
probably why she hooks up with Marlene,
This
because
is-
Riley's a firefly and everything, and they're gonna find them together and be like, why the fuck haven't you turned or whatever.
This is why you should not listen to these people's opinions.
Yes.
Because they don't have opinions, because they have no media literacy. Because if they did, they would understand what the fuck themes are. The themes of this show, the themes of the game, have always been caring for someone else in the worst possible times, when it should be you focus on yourself and you focus on survival. But you put yourself aside for another person. That's always been the theme. That's what Bill and Frank's story was about, and this is what Ellie's story is about. But you can even go a different direction and say this theme is continuing the character arc that she's on because Joel is sick. So we're having the flashback to show why she is so adamant to save him, because everybody she loves dies. You dumb fuck. Simple. They're not filler.
Yeah.
They add to the narrative.
Yes.
And I rest my case, Your Honor.
Okay, well, now it's my turn. I told you I was going to go off because I was thinking
go
about
ahead.
this
Yeah,
morning.
I was like, I need to get my rant in, and then you'll get your rant in, and then we'll do the clips.
So, I'm reaching out to you, who the folks who follow these pieces of shit and who think it's okay that these like don't say gay bills here in Iowa. The leadership in Iowa right now is fucking
Trying to
horrible,
ban gay marriage,
and there's going to be a lot of teen mental health crises over the next 5 or 6 years because you passed this fucking bill and you're marginalizing an already marginalized group,
making them out kids.
And dude, you know what this episode told me, man?
What?
So imagine you're a 13-year-old kid. I want every adult listening to do this. Imagine you're a 13-year-old kid, and I'll talk about me because I'm a guy. It'll make it easier for the story. But I'm 13 years old, and I'm kind of already coming into my own in junior high, and I'm dealing with all that pressure, like growing up, and everybody's getting into cliques, and there's girls and stuff, and hair's popping up.
Boners all the time.
Yeah, right. And not only that, but even worse, dude. Like something's wrong with me because I want to kiss my guy friend, like my best friend, like. I want to kiss him, Like there's something wrong. That's wrong, right?
Yeah, all the other guys
dude,
are
my
talking
mom
about
and dad,
girls. And
but like my mom and dad, like, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like if you watch this episode, like how terrified Ellie is, but excited. Like when she first kisses Riley, because you can tell
she's
that there's
taking a leap of faith.
Well, you can tell that there's something there. Like she's not just
more
just
than friends. Yeah,
absolutely. There's something there from both of them. They've both felt it.
She
like,
turns the music on.
They've
she's
held hands
to.
before.
They dance.
It's
Yeah.
at the
It's
tail
very
end of the
romantic,
episode,
yeah.
right? It's at the tail end of the episode, and throughout the episode, you see moments of romanticism, of touching things, holding hands, things like that.
She got quarters for the game for her. She's like, I ripped this up. I wanted to make this special because it's your birthday. Or is it her birthday in the story, or is it just she was just?
I don't know.
She was just trying to give her the best night of her life.
The point
or
is
whatever.
they're best friends, but it's clear that they've never tried that,
and now they're seeing each other in a romantic light.
It's kind of beautiful, man.
It's a cute, like I said, it's a cute portrayal of the young love.
Imagine that
Portrayal.
that you think there's something wrong with you, and then you meet somebody just like you.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Wait, and you like me too? How much washing all of that bullshit away for you that must be?
Yeah.
You've been hiding behind a wall your entire life. You haven't even told your parents, man. You don't even know if that's right, that you should be feeling that way. And then you realize that everything about it is right, and you are right, and there's nothing wrong with you. You're just a human being like the rest of us, trying to figure it out. And that is what pisses me off about these adults on YouTube. They are fucking pieces of shit, and they're hurting children and young kids because they can't figure out that all of us are just human beings trying to figure it out. And shame on fucking all these fuckers that we're about to talk about, dude. Shame on you for being just assholes about not knowing what it's like. I'm glad that you never have had a point in your life when you were like, felt like you were on your own or you never belonged. I'm glad. But there are a lot of people out there who have felt like that. And you're making it worse for them. And shame on you. That's my rant.
Well, it's only one person today, but it's.
But fuck her.
She's got 6 clips, but they're all short.
Okay.
Shorter.
Oh.
Oh.
You know, off topic. You know the Paul Giamatti Verizon commercial where he's
Einstein.
Yeah, we need to get that drop where he's like, oh, brilliant.
Oh, the Guinness commercials.
Brilliant. No, yeah, whatever.
But that's what I was thinking of. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Those poorly animated Guinness commercials.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Which probably shouldn't have been marketed me on ESPN when I was watching as a kid. But anyway,
you'll get to drink it eventually, kid.
Yeah,
Just
you get 'em,
you better sip your dad's
so anyway,
beer.
Melanie Mack had something to say this past week on
And we wish
the
she
episode.
hadn't.
Nah, I wish she hadn't. The problem I have with Melanie Mack,
Not that I want her to be silent, be defeated.
she's an interesting one because she is the classic Christian where she uses her religion to back up her
Christ.
bigotry.
Literally.
And it is, let's not mistake it, it's bigotry. Because this develops, and by the way, I just got to say this. Nobody talks more about trans people than conservatives that hate trans people.
Yeah.
Trans people don't even talk about trans people as much as these people talk about trans people.
No.
And somehow this episode is a launching pad for her to go on a transphobic diatribe. But she does address the show first. So the whole thing is she's reading a Bounding Into Dumb Shit Comics article where she talks about Storm Reed, the girl that portrays Riley in the episode, says if there's any, like, with the homophobic backlash, she's like, don't watch it.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
That's
don't watch
fair.
it.
That is
Bella
completely
Ramsey
fair.
said, I got bad news for you. This is, a progressive story, and if you don't like it, that's if you hate it because of that, or you don't like it because of that, that's on you, and you're missing out. Which is absolutely right.
It also says a lot about you.
If you're not
as a
allowing
human
yourself
being.
to see
The beauty in love.
see that love can work in any, and like it doesn't matter what race or creed or
How
sexuality.
strong
Love
the
is love.
How strong the human soul and will can be to weather crises and everything.
And it's like I said, it's cute to see the teen angst in the teen. It's the beginning of a teen romance, because we've all been there. We've all had that moment, like you were talking about, where it's like, oh, should I kiss her or should I kiss him or whatever, whatever. And yeah. Anyway, let's talk about Melanie Mack reading this article, talking about Storm Reed, saying if you don't like it, don't watch. Oh shit.
If you don't like it, don't watch it. Which, for the record, I haven't been watching it. I watched
So
the
it's great
first
that you have an
episode,
opinion
and
on
I thought
it.
it was so overrated and not nearly as amazing as people were letting it on to be. That I don't know, I just didn't have any interest. Wasn't for any of the gay stuff, but mind you, the gay episodes appear to be filler episodes. So it's a little funny that this is that in the first season there's going to be 9 episodes total, and at least 2 of those are filler already. What does that freaking say?
First of all, it says nothing because they're not filler episodes. Second,
Also, you haven't even fucking watched it, so shut the fuck up.
but that's my favorite part. That's my favorite part. She has not claimed she's not watched it since the first episode, but the only time she has talked about it is when there were 2 gay-centric love stories.
Well, how the fuck do you know, you dumbass?
All right, here's clip number 2.
How many we have?
6, but they're all short.
Fuck. Okay, good.
Keeping the plot moving forward.
Again,
and they
why she thinks they're filler episodes.
both are filler episodes in nature. It
No, they're
definitely
not.
begs the question of, is this pandering, and was this just,
not.
what is the focus here, and is it just for
Just
woke
playing it
points
there.
rather than actually adding more context to the story? Could some of this stuff have been incorporated in existing episodes, and in this case via flashbacks, whatever it may be? Did they need entire episodes in the first season, right? Or look at Bill's story, how they changed things just to incorporate that, for example.
Incorporate what? Incorporate what?
It does ask a lot of questions. It has a lot of questions. left
Incorporate
for
a
us
gay
there.
love story instead of being a cynical story.
She can't even say homosexual, can she?
No, she can.
What a piece of fetid human fucking garbage you are. Fuck you.
Okay.
No.
We're not even into the worst stuff yet.
I can't fucking wait, you fucking scumbag.
No, you
How fucking dare you using fucking Jesus Christ to fucking
it
call
gets
people
worse.
out.
It
Oh
gets
my
worse.
God.
Now you got to get through
Okay,
it.
I'm
You
just
got to
gonna
get
sit
through
here
it.
in silence for the rest of the time, or else I will.
But you
I
know
will
my
rip
favorite,
this microphone to
my
shreds.
favorite part is towards the end of that clip, and she's like, "Well, they changed Bill's story to incorporate that. What? Incorporate what? Incorporate what? You can't say it.
Butt sex.
Cowboy butt sex.
Butt sex. Melanie Mac.
Also, it's kind of tired.
That's not.
You know what's really tired? Joke is when they talk about a gay love story, these chuds, and they put fucking Brokeback Mountain as a thumbnail. I'm like, good job, you made a joke from like 2006.
Is that the only one that they think has ever been portrayed on screen?
Yes, it is probably.
Well, before all
to
this
be
goddamn
honest,
woke shit, that was the only gay thing I ever saw.
Also, do you think they'd be upset if they found out where John Voight got his fame from? What the fuck was that?
It was great. Great content. Unlike
I
this.
think despite what people are going to say, if they don't like it,
Horrible
I think
content.
there are going to be a lot more people that appreciate it, a lot more people
This is
that
Storm.
feel
Oh, sorry.
represent-
This is her reading a quote from Storm Reed saying that, like, even if people don't like it, it's still, hey, it's nice that this is being represented, is what she's saying.
and seen and heard, so that's what matters. See, I can't even tell you guys, so y'all know if you've been watching me long enough, I am so tired of this whole representation narrative. People need to be seen. This is just pure narcissism. Anybody who needs to see themselves on a TV show or to see themselves in a video game to enjoy it, if they need validation from Hollywood just for their own existence, then they're a very fragile person, okay? This is just weird, this obsession with having to be seen all the time. Like, can we not just focus on good stories being good stories instead of this obsession with being seen?
So,
see,
sorry.
She's white, right?
I have my hand up.
Oh.
I have my hand up, teacher. Oh, jeez.
Jeez, son of a bitch.
No, I was going to... The reason I have my hand up, because you were going to say the same thing I was going to do it, so I just wanted to get to you first. Yes, she is a straight, white Christian woman. Mm-hmm. So she doesn't know fuck all about not being...
She's been seeing herself on screen for fucking centuries now. God damn it. Are you stupid? You've been fucking seeing yourself. God. You're fucking worthless fucking white bread fucking kind. Go a fucking way.
Did you say white bread?
I'm tired of it. Oh, I'm way. Fucking shut
fucking
up.
Whiteies.
Shut up.
You know who I can't stand?
You're fucking mayonnaise.
I can't.
Nobody likes. Oh, wait, what?
Sorry, you knocked out the.
Damn it.
You knocked out the mic for a second.
I'm so pissed.
Yeah, you fucked up the audio.
Are we
No,
still
it's
recording?
fine. We're still good. We're still good. But the thing came out for a second, so you might have been like digitized for a little bit.
That's fine.
I
was pissed.
No, yeah. It's worth pointing out she's a straight white Christian woman. There's a couple more clips. So this.
We have to.
No, God, you're gonna get real. If you're angry now, it's gonna get worse. I might have to mute you. So
put my hands in my pockets.
So she proceeds to use
put the knives away.
This, by the way, is a 27-minute video. So she is like using this as like a platform to just go off on her transphobia. And I will tell you this.
Fuck you, Melanie.
So
Mac.
whoever Eric July pays, or whoever is Eric July's biggest dick rider on Twitter, BatVerse goalposts.
Right.
It accused me of they actually took a clip when we did the thing about the BatVerse cards,
right,
and accused me of being this guy that's like jealous of Eric July because he made all this money for the comic book.
Yeah, well, that was the big comment we kept getting.
But here's the thing: I'm not jealous of Eric July.
No,
I'm jealous of Melanie Mac because she can go on camera and be the dumbest fucking motherfucker on the planet and make money off of it. I'm jealous because I have to have integrity and actually be honest with you guys and tell you what I feel.
Much more
but
difficult
she can come
than
on
just
here,
going on and spouting diarrhea from the latest
and
fucking
she can,
bullshit you saw on Fox.
So she can put in
You
her
fucking
her
idiot.
Midwest Christian fucking bigotry
Fuck off.
and all of this.
Jesus Christ was never a bigot, you fucking piece of shit, okay?
Hey.
Sorry.
But you're right.
Okay.
Look at how
hands in my pockets.
you're. What is it like? Think about food, for example.
Oh,
and
time
eating
out. She's using food and eating and dieting as an example against trans people.
Wow.
stuff, eating like cake and pizza and foods that are bad for you, that are bad for your body, especially those addicting foods, potato chips. If you just had no inhibition, right? If you didn't fight against your own cravings, you would want to keep eating this stuff. Most people would. We want to keep eating this stuff until we're on my 600-pound life, and Dr. Now is throwing shade at us and roasting us, and people are laughing. You know?
No, I don't.
So you can't say, "Oh, but it's natural for me. It's natural for me to want to eat a whole large pizza and a whole box of Cinnabons and drink a
suck a big cock."
thing
Is that
of
what she's
soda.
trying to say?
It's
She
natural
can't
for
say
me to
suck
wanna
a
do
big
that. My
cock,
body
can she?
naturally wants to do
She
that.
can't
Well,
say
She can.
take
Her body
a
wants to
big
do
cock
things that
in the
isn't right.
butthole, can she? She can't talk about scissoring, can she? Well, let me tell you for you, Melanie Mac, sucking a big old cock.
Might be fun for some, but not me.
Yeah, but she can't even say it.
No, but
fuck off, man. Just
so
fucking,
the idea.
I'll bet you she always has sex with the lights off.
Well, yeah, she doesn't even swear.
Always.
She doesn't swear
Always.
at all. She reads her Bible.
She spends all this time keeping her body tight.
I want to be clear.
Doesn't let her
I want to be
boyfriend see
clear.
it.
I don't have a problem if you practice Christianity.
No,
and
me
you
neither.
believe there's a God. And
No,
you,
me neither.
And we go to church and everything. As long as you don't use that for your bigotry,
Yeah, 'cause-
you're fine with me.
Because Christianity is not about bigotry, you fucking bigot.
Exactly.
You're a bigot who likes God.
but
Not Christian.
But to compare gluttony
Oh, right?
to wanting
You-
to be the person you want to be.
Thanks for
is-
making that 14-year-old think that they're already thinking that they're weird, and then they listen to your fucking bigoted ass, and then they're like, well, I'm definitely weird. Melanie Mac says I'm a fucking fat turd. What if they are actually overweight too? You just fucking,
Yeah.
you might as well have gone into that house, Melanie, made a fucking noose for that kid.
Jesus Christ.
Well,
okay.
for what?
You're not wrong.
Are they not? Is this
All
not
right,
where it's headed?
Tyler, we got two more
Okay,
clips.
sorry.
We can do
Okay,
this.
god damn it. I'm so mad.
All right. So yeah, she continues to talk. Like seriously, this is the thing. This is why I did it this
Hands in my pockets.
This is why I structured it this way, because she this is what they do. They take a topic that is in the zeitgeist. They take a topic that's popular. They take a topic that they know will get clicks, and they talk about it for a little bit, and then they use it as a jumping off point to talk about their fucking alt-right politics.
Yeah.
And this is a great example. What does transgender shit or trans people have to do with anything with this fucking episode? None.
Nothing.
None.
Nothing.
Here's clip number 5. You know what's funny is I forgot the order of the
Oh,
clips.
before
so I'm
you,
starting to play them,
that's
and
fine.
then I can
but
give you
before you
backstory.
play the order, hang
Hold
on.
on.
All right, so
She's quoting some fucking
Okay,
crazy
but
lunatic.
I have to say this. There's kind of an issue, and I know that I know that people in the community have felt this and have seen this, but LGBTQA+. There's a reason for that, because there's strength in numbers, and there are far too many fucking pieces of shit trying to make their lives harder. That there's strength in numbers to be LGBTQA+. And I know that there are people within those letters who are like, I don't like being grouped all together, okay? Because of fucking bigots like this who, because there's a T in there, and this episode has lesbians, because they're bigoted and ignorant, they're going to go, well, trans also, and it's not. But there's strength in numbers. I have no problem with the acronym or whatever to use, because there's strength in numbers, and it's better for them to band together, right?
Mm-hmm.
And be able to change stuff for the better for them. Why not? Why would you want your life to be harder? But there's a danger in lumping them together that ignorant fucks like this
well, and it's
are just
also
lumping them together in the wrong way.
Also the ignorance of thinking that trans people are pedophiles. And
Right. Yeah. Or groomers.
or groomers,
Fuck you.
yeah.
Fuck you.
Fuck you, Dylan.
Fuck you, Dylan. Get those people arrow.
So this next clip, she's quoting some lunatic who I don't even remember his name, and I don't care to give him any credit.
Sure.
But she's quoting him to pretty much say that transphobia or the wokeness in general and trans people are demonic.
He states signs are all around that. The devil is doing just that today in our world.
Yeah, it's you. You working for the devil, dumbass.
Anytime I see millions of otherwise rational people doing irrational things, I look for the demonic element in what's going
Like
on.
loving my
A
fellow
blanket
human
of
being?
demonic
How irrational is
insanity has
that?
fallen upon earth, and you and I are witnessing it before our very eyes. I agree. He
think
continued, it
so,
is
huh? Okay.
manifested in such things as the surgical mutilation and infliction
God.
of puberty-blocking drugs on
I'm sorry, I'm gonna stop it early.
Wait,
but
she
I'm gonna
can actually say
there's-
puberty?
There's more. There's more.
That doesn't make sense. I think she's bullshitting about not swearing and stuff. If she's okay saying technical terms like puberty,
A penis? I don't think she says penis, but you know. But I want to stop right there. I want to stop it right there because.
yeah, please, can we not?
No,
hear the
there's
rest?
more.
Oh. I thought you were just saying like this.
No, but I just want to talk right now because there's people that have used this argument. And I think it's great, and every time you get a chance to do it, use it. If a woman gets a tit job, is that mutilation?
Oh.
Is that mutilation?
Oh.
If someone gets a nose job, is that mutilation? Someone gets Botox, is that mutilation?
Whoa.
You don't.
But it's only when it involves the genitalia. And you know what? How the fuck is that any of your business?
prepubescent children in the name of transgender
And no
ideology.
prepubescent kid is
It
getting
is manifested in drag queen shows, in public
transitioned.
libraries, targeting audiences of elementary school children. Preach it! Preach it, brother. It is manifested in pornographic books, in public school libraries, targeting those same children. It is manifested in primetime TV shows depicting and celebrating Satan worship.
Nope.
I could go, but you get the point. The blanket of demonic insanity
play the
has
next clip after
fallen
this.
upon the world.
Yeah, I'm done with this.
No, it
piece of
hasn't.
shit.
No, it hasn't.
Fucking
But to
done
wrap
with
it up, this is what it sums it up here for us.
I hate that we've given this much time to this.
Oh, he said it! He said it. Well said. It is so true, though. This is just plaguing society
so
as
shrill.
a whole.
Yeah, I know.
And it's being glorified.
I should have sped her up. She takes
And,
so long.
Dude, just read your Bibles, people. Read your Bibles and see what. I've been reading the Old Testament over again. I just finished Judges, and my goodness, Judges alone will show you. Judges.
Tyler took his headphones off. And he's like, tell me when it's over. And then he puts his headset.
Right when she's like, read your Bibles, people. I'm like, nope. Nope. I'm out. Fuck this shit. Nope.
I'll play the rest of the clip.
Like an action movie. It's intense. But Judges will show you just how much a corrupt society, this is the thing, is when you start allowing sin and accepting sin at
Being
all,
trans is sin.
and especially
being gay is
glorifying
sin.
it,
Being who you are is
and
sin.
you're not speaking out against it, it compounds. And things do get
Yeah, the
freaking
sin is
worse.
capitalism,
Things
you
get
fucking
a
idiots.
lot worse.
Things get a lot worse if you let gay people and trans people exist. I got news for you, Melanie. They've existed since humans have existed. I'm sorry to tell you that.
Since before Jesus.
It's not this.
Oops.
It's not. By the way, trans people are.
Wait. Would that just blow the fuck out of her mind if I told her that transgender and gay people have been around since before Jesus? Because wait a second, there wasn't anybody around before Jesus.
Personally, I think she'd be more freaked out if you said Jesus wasn't white. I think she'd be really worried about that.
Does she really think Jesus was
I don't know.
white?
I'm just being a dick.
Yeah. I mean, most of those fucking idiots do.
I don't
'cause
give her
they're-
the benefit of the doubt.
It's not Christianity. It's Republicanity.
But this is what I mean. This is why I don't like Melanie. Why I titled this as she's a transphobic moron, because she is.
Yeah.
The reason I hate her, now I'm using stronger language. The reason I don't like her is because she went out of, just like all of her chuddy friends, like Nerdrotic and Heel versus Fuckface. They do this thing where they're like, oh, we're all going to play Hogwarts Legacy. They never cared about Harry Potter until all this stuff with J.K. Rowling. And then she creates a character, first name Ima, last name Bigot, and like plays this game and makes multiple video after video after video, like dunking on people trying to boycott the game and talking about the sales and how great it is. It's like, you are pathetic. Seriously, you're fucking pathetic. If you spend your existence, which, by the way, don't have much time of it on this earth, and you're going to spend that much time, dedicate that much of your life because you like the money to, and honestly, because she's a religious bigot and she's a fucking lunatic, and you're going to spend that much time, dedicate that much time attacking people that want nothing to do with you, have never done it. What happened? Did you date someone that transitioned to be a woman and that made you feel weird? Is that what happened? What is your honestly tell me, what is your reasoning for hating these people? Why do you need your God? Which I gotta tell you, if your God is what you think it is, your God sucks.
Also, this is the same person who would try to ban books but would be okay with a demonic magic user like Harry Potter being in her library because it's, J.K. Rowling. Can I tell you about this really great story I read once? It's a great fucking coming of age trans. It's actually a coming of age homosexual story, and it's about this kid, and he lives under the stairs, and
he's a wizard.
It has nothing to do with it. It's actually about homosexuality.
I thought you were talking about
and he's
Harry
a kid,
Potter.
and he's about 9-10 years old or whatever, and he lives under the stairs, lives with this horrible family and stuff, and they really treat him like shit because they know that he's acted out who he really is, which is a gay kid, And they've really treated him like shit and put him under the stairs and stuff, and they just treat him like shit, just like shit. And one day he gets this visitor, and it's a visitor, and this kid realizes that he's not the only gay kid or person in the world anymore. In fact, there's a whole world hidden behind the real world of gay people. And I'm sorry, that was Harry Potter. You're right. How the fuck do you feel now, transphobes? The whole Harry Potter story is about the gay experience and the transphobic experience. Imagine thinking that you're the only one of your kind, you're under the stairs and your people treat you really bad.
Well, I gotta say,
talk about a fucking dunk. Can I drop the mic? Can I do this? Can I do this real quick? It'll make a weird noise. Nobody likes it. It does.
I will say,
but I did just fucking dunk, did I not?
Hassan Minhaj made a great point about when he was filling in for the Daily Show. He said that he thinks that the problem with J.K. Rowling is she's so rich she has to create problems to make her life interesting. And so he's like, I guarantee you she didn't give a fuck about trans people a few years ago, but she started picking fights because she was bored.
Also,
just like Dilbert, like fucking idiot.
Right, but
well, he was always crazy.
Well,
but
right.
To wrap it up.
Okay, I will, but real quick. Let's from what I understand, she has said herself that her reasoning for having an issue with transphobic people
is biblical.
J.K. Rowling was because of an assault at the hands of a trans, right? Is that right?
I don't know if that really happened, but that's what she says.
Right, but that's what she says, right? That's the same thing as like being robbed by like
which, by the way,
that's the same thing as like having a bad relationship with a woman and me swearing off women forever.
I also want to be clear. I want to be clear. I'm not saying that it didn't happen. I'm just saying that's what the story is.
Yeah. No, that's not the important thing. The important thing is that she's saying this. Okay, that's fine, but why do you think because of that one person who assaulted you who happened to be transgender? Doesn't matter if it happened or not. Why do you think that every transgender person is like that? Yeah,
it's a monolith.
That's really stupid.
Yeah.
That is like saying that you saw somebody of a certain like religion or ethnicity or whatever stealing or something, and then you assumed or something like that. It's bullshit, and it's backwards. It's Middle Ages thinking.
It's like, you're a witch.
We're in the 21st fucking century,
but anyway,
people.
Just to wrap things up, because I didn't want to talk about J.K. Rowling. I've talked enough about her.
No, I'm just saying.
Excuse me.
No,
I
it's
know.
a stupid. Yeah.
But what I was just trying to wrap up with the Melanie Mac thing is just like, that this is the reason I latched onto this and wanted to do this episode, because I've been wanting to talk about her for a while, because she is the perfect example of why people are stepping away from the church. This is why people are stepping away from religion, because she is trying to justify bigotry is what it is. She says in the video, and she says this in other videos too, it's like, I don't hate trans people, I don't hate gay people, but this is a... If you ever say but after I don't hate blank, but it's never good. unless you're talking about a movie.
Also, she can't talk about greasing up your boyfriend's butthole and just going to town. I mean, just, talk about it, Melanie. Why do you have to beat around the bush? Talk about, just...
She's also on a carnivore diet, so it's all meat diet. Maybe the meats get.
I just think the more you talk about
too
it,
much
the
protein.
more comfortable you are with it. You don't have to feel like so ashamed about saying bad words and stuff. Like, it's just sex. It's just sex. It just happens between two people of the same sex.
Yeah, but
so why is she talking about
Melanie
sexuality
Mac,
when she has a problem saying words like penis and butthole?
Melanie Mac fucking sucks.
Yeah.
She's a. Again, I am jealous. I am jealous that I could be as talentless as her. And
I like to
money.
think that if we had the money that she did, that we would be good human beings and say, like, you know what? No, we're not going to do this so that we can get paid. But I'm also a human being.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on.
Let's do it. Maybe. Not too loud.
I forget how loud it is.
I always turn the limiter up. I jack the limiter on that shit. Ow, my ears. That's really loud. What are you guys doing down there in that basement?
We're beating each other up because we're men.
I thought you were going to go a different route with the beat.
Beating each other up because we're men.
Well, there goes our sponsorship.
Oh, we're not supposed to say that? Sorry, everybody.
So,
So this week, Tyler broke the rules.
I
decided to get a DC book.
Get the book they give me.
Okay.
It's not a DC book.
It is. Well, technically, it's published by DC, but they have, because they picked up the licensing.
Right.
On, Milestone Comics, which is a traditionally black publisher, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've never read anything from them.
I remember when
I've heard
they
of the name before.
Right. There was like 4. There was Icon Hardware. There was There was like 2 other characters, or maybe there was another character in a super team. But there was 4 books in the Milestone original run, and I remember when they came out. But I was already out of comic books by that point. I wasn't reading comic books regularly.
Yeah, and this came out, and then because it says it's 30th, so
must have been
93.
But the idea at the time was that there was no, there weren't anybody telling black stories in comics, and that's, I mean,
yeah,
it's true. I mean, there's a lot more. I don't know if there's more independence now than there was. I'm sure like the 90s and the secondary market explosion and collapse probably contributed to that, to more independence being out. But I think there's a lot more. What fuckfaces don't understand about representation is that, again, if you're white, you haven't had to worry about representation because everything you see is you.
Yeah, which is what we just talked about, yeah.
And the point of like a book like this and an imprint like this, like Milestone, was exactly, they fucking said it. They said, hey, you know what I don't like? I don't like how I grew up and there weren't any black kids in the comics that I read. None of the heroes were black. That's what they said. Why wouldn't you just listen to what they said?
Also,
so that's why, it is important for a little girl to walk into a store. You're a little black girl. You walk into a store and you see a wall of white Barbies. Or you see a wall and half of it is like, like half is, or like a portion is white and a portion is like Latina and a portion is like black and a portion is Asian. Don't you feel like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Aren't you going to feel a lot better about yourself? Not that toys should be how you feel about yourself.
So the book that we're talking about this week is from the Milestone.
The event is Worlds Collide, is what it says.
Yes, it's Icon versus Hardware.
Yes,
so this is a big
1.
showdown between classic characters, Icon and Hardware. The backstories behind these are pretty cool. Just in general, like before I even get into the issue, you open it up. There's a recap of Icon and Rocket Season 1. There's a recap of Hardware Season 1, kind of setting the stage for the book itself, because it's supposed to be like a big crossover between all these comics.
Right.
And
I don't know when the last time they published anything with them. So
yeah,
I don't know
so
if they left
this is written by Reginald Hudlin, whatever. Leon Chills, Dennis Cowan is art. I'm assuming
Dennis Cowan.
I'm trying to fucking. Dennis Cowan, Actually, do they actually have their credits in the flap?
Yeah, do you want me to just read it?
No.
Well, I'm better with names than you
I
are.
know, that's not what I'm doing. I'm trying to see if they actually have like proper credits in the book. You know, they have like
They do.
art,
I think at the
writer,
end. I
inker.
think at the
Anyway,
end.
point is written by Reginald Hudlin and Leon Chills is the art. I had some thoughts on this, and
I'll tell you
don't
who
touch the book. It's my book.
Dennis Cohen and
You don't
Yasmin Flores
I
Montañez.
don't need to
They
do the
do
full
the
credits.
art. No, but they do the art. It's written by Reginald Hudlin and.
Where does it say
and
it? Find
Leon-
the credits page.
I will if you.
I
let
don't
me
believe it.
fucking piece of shit.
What? What's my name? Oh, it's in the back? Oh, thanks.
Written by Reginald Hudlin and Leon
me read it.
Chills. Pencils by Dennis Cohen and Yasmin Flores Montañez. Inks by John Floyd and John Stanisi and Yasmin Flores Montañez. Colors by Christopher Sotomayor. And letters by And World Design.
I'll be honest, it says Icon on hardware, but Icon versus hardware. It's more about Rocket and hardware than it is Icon. Because Icon's only in it for a very brief portion of the book. But
Yeah.
overall, I thought it was an interesting book, interesting read.
Mm.
But I think you and I kind of differ. Because there's a decision made in the second act of this issue that is interesting. So at some point, hardware is trying to find Icon.
Right.
And because he needs to get his tech, because there's this big bang of like this gas that explodes and hurts a bunch of people, kills a bunch of people, and hardware is now wanted man. So everybody's chasing him. So he's trying to stop it from happening, and by doing so, he thinks that he can get a hold of Icon's tech, because Icon is a superhero, as an alien like Superman, but told through the lens of the 19th century and the Civil War, which I think is fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like that whole storyline is pretty sick. I like that a lot. So yeah, he's trying to get his tech because he's like, I think I can fix everything if I get his tech. So that's kind of his goal. And in the doing that, so he tries to find his tech, but he finds something else. It's a bigger box. Opens it up. Turns out it's a time machine.
Yeah.
And it was created by Benedict is it Benneker?
I'll find it.
The dude who he said was a free man, who also had a free mind, blah blah blah. But essentially he found his journals to use the time machine. So now hardware's whole motivation is, okay, I don't need Icon or Augustus's tech. I can just use this time machine.
Benjamin Banneker, yes.
Yeah.
And I'll read the little Banneker was a free man. I don't just mean he wasn't enslaved. I mean his mind was totally free, which enabled him to be brilliant in so many fields. He was an astronomer, a clockmaker, a philosopher, and a surveyor who helped lay out what would become the District of Columbia.
Yeah.
And this is also important. If they credited him with building clocks, writing almanacs, debating liberty with Thomas Jefferson, and helping design the nation's capital, how much more did he do that they won't give him credit for?
Also, I find it interesting that they like right there were just like clockmaker. Aha! See, he can do a time machine.
Yeah.
So yeah, hardware learns how to create this time, how to use this time machine. So now we have time travel, and I think the story was. It's weird because I think the time travel element makes the story more interesting, but at the same time makes it more convoluted.
Yes.
I really wasn't on board that much with this. Like, this story was fine, but it wasn't like hooking me.
You know
but
what?
once he finds the time machine, then I'm kind of turning the corner on
Up
it.
until that point, you know what was the most compelling part of the story to me?
The character bios. Oh,
This whole stuff, the character
roommate that
Rocket
kills
being,
herself
being
because
at
she's
the
bullied?
No, the character her being at the school, like
I
those
didn't
were.
care for that at all. I didn't like it that much, to be honest. Look, what? Why are you throwing a fit? You and I just have differing opinions. Why did you like it? Tell me why you like
because
it,
it's
and I'll tell
the
you
most realistic part of the book.
Because it isn't time travel and
Kind of.
this alien that's been alive for hundreds of years.
I guess it more represents like the world that we live in and everything than because there's certain parts of this universe in this world that are different from ours.
I think I think the rocket stuff works well enough. I think it's good, but I don't know. To be honest, I was the most invested in hardware. I was more interested in his story than anybody else's, and again, I think that's just because I spent more time with him. But it is interesting that it is paralleling Rocket's story in a way. You know what I mean? Because his Rocket storyline is, first of all, she's dealing with Mean Girls, and but my problem is, man, that takes a hard right turn or hard left turn, however you want to look at it.
Well,
but when they introduced that one girl's roommate killed herself, I'm like, good lord, dude, what are we doing? And then
it is a little right away, like
right in your face, but it makes sense and it works out later on throughout the story, and it's like Rocket showing this girl Beth to stand up for herself, and it's Rocket showing a heroic side outside of being a superhero.
That's what I liked about it.
And I agree, I do like it, but I like it the least because I like the hardware stuff more.
Yeah, I didn't really get into that.
I like his character more.
I just when he shows up to himself, which again is like against all time travel rules that we know, which we don't know.
Well, he
anything.
even talks about how he's fucking up the time stream.
Right,
He's
but
like, I don't really care.
he says, okay, so you are me. So the butterfly effect, obviously I don't care about temporal effects on the time stream. So what do I do now? Like that's...
I think it's funny because I think
the guy just does it. Okay, and then the white guy, Christ on a
Alva.
cracker. Look at that armor. Yeah, and I do think it's funny that he gets shot and killed by his own.
Yeah, the ricochets.
But
kills
then,
him.
but then the interesting thing is, okay, so they do that, and then the event called the Big Bang. It's a protest where a gas is released.
Yeah.
Still happens. So at the very end, the last page, Hardware is now in charge of the company that was to be blamed for that Big Bang thing. And Icon is showing up outside the window
Now he's
going,
hunting
hey,
him.
we need to talk.
Yeah, now he's
And it's like, well,
through time and space.
right, but so that compels me to read the next thing to see what's going on. You know
Which,
what I mean?
by the way, though, I gotta say
The cover art is awesome.
the cover art's awesome. And
Did you notice it's all clocks?
Yeah, I noticed after I read it, I was like, oh, it's a giant clock. They're
It took
fighting
it took me a while to figure out that was like.
Roman numerals for the
Yes,
clock.
I
yeah.
thought it was just like pieces of a window.
But see, like you and
Window
I,
frame.
before I read it, you were like, I don't know how I feel. You're like, I don't know if I. Really...
I didn't want to give you any sort of.
and you
right.
were just vaguely talking. You're like, I don't really know. And it's similar to Black Tape, I think, and it's again similar to all three books that we've talked about on this have been the same in a sense of, I don't know, and this is what's fun about it and why we're doing it. We're going out on a limb and trying something new.
Yep.
And so there's always that moment.
That's how you evolve as a human being. Weird, right?
Weird, right? And as someone who a writer or someone who enjoys things,
Inspired by new things. Yeah.
But what I thought was interesting, and every time we've done it, and I think it's going to be the same every time we do, there is that standoffish thing of like, what are you going to do to get me invested? Like, I'm not hooked yet. And honestly, it's the hardware stuff. The hardware stuff is really what got me into it. Just because, again, we don't spend a ton of time with Icon. The only time you see Icon is he's fucking some chick in the air.
Yeah.
And he's like,
and a kid sees it.
Yeah, he's like, if you think if I'm 40,000 feet in the air having sex with this superhero chick, wouldn't be a problem.
You'd also think they'd hear the jet.
Yeah, but then he explains why, Rocket's, which is funny. It's a funny line where he's like, she needs to know the ruling class that she'll be protecting or whatever. And it's like, oh, that makes sense. But again, Icon's character's cool. I just wanted more of him in this. But I think what they're doing is they're going to have more of Icon in Chapter 2
I think,
issue number 2.
I think Icon versus Hardware, because that's kind of how these books are kind of touted. Like when two heroes team up, it's usually right. But I think it's going to be more like Icon and Hardware. You know what I mean? I think more than anything, the Worlds Collide part of the title is more
it's just incorporating
indicative.
all the milestone stuff together.
Yeah. So, but yeah, you're right. The Icon, the cover is them beating the shit out of each other, coming through, exploding through a clock, and they don't actually meet till the very last panel.
Which is why I think they're going to see more, because I think it's a 4-part series or 6-part series.
But one thing we both really enjoyed was the newsprint paper pages.
Yes, it doesn't.
It's
so
not glossy.
It's not glossy like modern comics. It's the paper that was in the 80s and the 90s.
It's paper.
In the early 2000s. It's paper.
It's awesome.
I really like that. I think the art's great. I really enjoy the art. I think it's a solid book. I would if you're asking would I read a number 2? Yeah, I think I would. Mostly because I'm trying. I agree with you in a sense that it did get needlessly convoluted with time travel at the end of the story of the first issue.
It does, but it doesn't. Like, it's not that hard to follow.
But like you were saying, was it's bold that they're just throwing out time travel conventions because because I think
part of me liked that.
You know why I like it? Because
Yeah.
it's someone who I'm looking at it as the writer being like, I know there's time travel rules, but I'm not playing
quote unquote. Because what do we really know about
I'm
that?
not
right?
playing by those rules in my
Yeah.
story, or
Yeah.
maybe he is. You don't know. That's why I really enjoy. Of the three, I think this one might be up there. I really enjoyed this one. I think. I would I'm interested. I would like to see a number 2. And it's, to me, someone who's new to this, who's never read the Milestone stuff. I do think it is a good introduction. I think they do a great job in the first 2 pages. You get a full breakdown of
they
the
really
motivations of
yeah.
these characters, and then you
They
kind of have
basically-
that
It's kind of a
backstory.
recap of probably their first comic run.
Well, it's
maybe.
season 1 on both of them, so I
Yeah.
imagine it was just like I don't know how many issues, but
I have no
yeah.
idea. But it clearly gives the backstory up to that point.
Which is what every comic does, is has that page. You know, we made jokes about, or we talked about, you know, the Stan Lee, it's everybody's first comic, and how that's a little bit different
Right.
with like TV and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, you could still do that nowadays, and a lot of comics still do. Like when you open up the Punisher, like you were talking about Jason Aaron's Punisher, there's this huge thing of like, who's Frank Castle, and then it's like, okay, now here's this
What's going
version
on
of
in-
Frank Castle.
Well, it's-
you know what I mean? It's this writer's
like
storyline.
Marvel does it in the front, and I think DC does it more in the back. I don't know if they do it at all, actually, but they Marvel pretty much every book, they have the first page of the book is like the credits, and then at the top there's a blurb that's always the same, like the Avengers. They combine to fight the forces that no singular Earth could, Fantastic Four, Mr. Fantastic thing, they have the same stuff up at the top, and then they have another thing that's like, this is what's going on now that you're about to read. So you're not like, what the fuck?
How did you feel about Hardware's first decision to test the time travel to go back to find out why his dad left? I thought that was a little weird.
As somebody who has a strained relationship with my father, I think it's interesting, and I mean, who knows if, my dad didn't leave. He did, but after I was gone too.
The reason I say it's weird is because I just feel like it's a cliched trope in comics where the hero has to have a damaged past to be a hero. And it's just a trope. Like, I don't hate it. I don't think it's bad. It's just a trope.
The thing is, though, that he does end up talking to his dad, like,
But that's
at a
what's
bar
different. Yes, he convinces his dad
afterwards.
to stay or at least be there for his kid, because his dad's like, no, fuck it.
Which
I'm out.
again, okay, look, I am all about flouting the fucking rules of time travel. I'm all about going against the grain when it comes to writing stories and stuff. But how are you going to, how can you not say, unless you're talking about a different?
I'm sure
a
it will
brand new
later on
time
in the
stream
story.
has been created at that point, because
There's got to be in the next couple issues.
aren't you different automatically when you tell your dad to stay?
Well,
that
his
automatically changes your world and your timeline.
that was his plan. His plan was to go back and talk to his dad and try and reestablish a relationship with his dad.
Okay.
So Alva wouldn't have a hold over him. Because he's like, if I do this, maybe Alva doesn't have as big an impact on me, and maybe I
missed that
develop
part
more
of
of a
that.
backbone
Okay.
to this. That was his justification
Yeah, I
for it.
missed that part. But yeah, I mean, it's a good book, and I don't know if I would go for number 2. I do want to find out why everything got so switched around, and I want to find out if
Why he's
Rocket ends up
why
kicking
he's
the
in
shit out
charge.
of that Bethany.
Or maybe
what the
that
fuck is that
maybe the
chick's-
bully is a superpower too. We don't know. Oh, also, dude, Hardware's design is sick. I like his costume. What do you think of Hardware's look?
I think it's
And-
interesting.
Well, what do you think of both of them, Icon and Hardware?
Huh?
Icon and Hardware. What do you think?
I think the symbol on Icon's chest is probably the world he's from or something.
I don't know. I don't know. I dig it. I dig both of
The
them.
only thing I don't like about Icon is that when I first saw the cover, it looked like John Stewart Green Lantern a little bit.
Yeah, kind of.
Very first impression. Obviously, I knew right away.
If you look closely in the clock, it's different
basically-
faces from Hardware.
Yeah, it's basically yeah.
Anyway, it looks good. I would give it a shot at number 2. Tyler, maybe not so much, but that's why we're different.
I want to find out why everything went so crazy. Yeah.
It was good. It was a good find, Tyler.
And you know what? To be really honest, again, I like it when writers break the rules. So
big thank you to Mayhem Comics in Clive for supplying us.
I think
with
we can
this.
make it that our long box a week. I don't really have anything.
Yeah, I don't either. But
Yeah.
no, I figured we could just end on this. But yeah, thanks once again to Mayhem for supporting the show every week.
Always. And you know what? I always buy my comics there. Check them out on Google, Mayhem Comics in Des Moines. I think they might be in Clive, actually.
That's what I said, bro.
But there is also a location in Ames.
I didn't know that.
I drove up there to get one of the issues of the Dark Knight. What was that? What was that thing that was like in the future, Batman?
The Last Night on Earth?
Yes, I had to go up to Ames because they had one copy of number 1, and I had number 2, but I didn't want to read it till I had number 1.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's such
That makes
a cool
sense.
story.
Otherwise, you're
Such a
reading out
cool
of
story.
out of context.
Well, you want those type of stories. You want to read from the beginning. You don't want to be like,
Hey, I'm jumping into the second part of this 3-part series.
I'm going to jump into episode 6 of
Well,
Legion
Tyler-
and be completely.
Gird your loins.
Oh wow. My loins are. Ouch. That guy should drink some tea. His voice sounds terrible.
Makes you want to just like shit glass. Yeah.
That's the best thing ever, because I know where you're going. I've been there where you're like, you want to say something really tiff.
Yeah, you want to be like hardcore sounding, but
So
it's
you
like
swear,
something painful.
You swear, and then like
A shit glass.
and then it's like, oh, I don't want to do
Oh,
that.
that's counts
that,
bad.
that would actually suck. Shit glass.
I say a shit glass, they think.
Crack cocaine.
Anyway, back to the end. Tyler, how you feeling today?
Feel pretty good.
We yelled at some bigots. We read a fun book.
Yeah, I just
We
I just
watched a fun Star Wars show.
I wish these adults would understand how much their rhetoric harms
Yeah.
young kids that haven't gone through life and have as good of an understanding of who they are as these fucking cocksuckers do. You know?
I'll also say,
Anyway.
I'm also invested. I would like to read more of these Milestone comics.
Yeah, well,
See if
let me
there's,
know. I'll put them on a poll over at Mayhem.
Other stuff
You
I'd
can
like
get
to read.
your own poll at Mayhem. Just give them a call.
I'm not playing the sounder again.
Poll list.
I don't want to hurt my ears.
Well, no. That's the comic of the week. That's not the
you're
sounder.
You know what
for-
the real winner of the week? Us. You, the listener. And our friendship.
We were in a convenience store today, and I picked out my things right away, and I didn't realize that the thing that he needed was not out there yet. So I'd already picked mine up. I can't put them back under the heat lamp, right? And he's like, "Oh, okay."
And then he just
Like,
looked at
it's
me.
like
He was
8
real
minutes.
upset, and he was just like, "Nice."
No, but then he
And
was
then
like,
I said,
he's
"Oh,
like-
it didn't play."
He's like, "Sorry."
I said,
But then he was like, "I'm sorry, I had to, that we have to hang out in the thing because it was like 8 minutes." They're like, "It'll be done in 8 minutes." Like, "Oh, we're fine, that's fine." And I was like, I
I
was
said 8 minutes, and I said,
and I was sitting there and I was like, I don't look at it as being like stuck in a gas station waiting for like food. I look at it as I get an extra couple minutes to hang out with my buddy.
"That's sweet."
I love you, man. I love you,
Sorry,
man.
what did you say?
I love you.
I love you too, buddy. And
See, that's
but I
the-
love you. But
that's-
sometimes
I could write a book about what you don't know.
Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.